Live from Big Red Field here at beautiful Denison University, Licking County, where the Southern Ohio Copperheads will look to get game number 2 of this 2-game doubleheader, facing against the Licking County Settlers. Welcome back to the broadcast. Tim Hanna alongside Sedric Granger. Southern Ohio Copperheads fell in the first game 5-2. Owen Little picks up the win for that one. Sean Peck goes down with a loss, and Brian Peroni gets the save. Licking County Settlers got 11 hits, scored 5 runs. Copperheads, 4 hits off 2 runs. 2 runs off 4 hits, rather. No errors for both teams. So, Cedric, if we've got to look at a positive for that game, we did not have any errors, which has not been the case in the last couple of games.
Yeah, the fielding was pretty crisp overall, as I guess they're not going to count the Kyle Ratliff play out there in center field as an error. It'll just go down as a hit, as it maybe hit the ground before he got a hand on it. But again, the fielding was pretty solid for the Copperheads. There was noticeable improvement between game 4 and game 1 through 3, because the Copperheads, they gave up at least 11 runs in all of those games. It was massacres. They weren't even close. This time, Copperheads kept it close. They were in it, and they're showing a little bit of growth. Maybe if they can show some growth into this game, too, they can be able to potentially win it. But we'll get it started here. It's going to be an exciting game. We hope the Copperheads can't already lose the series, as they'll play 9 games. They've already lost 4. Can't make it 0-5.
Shepard's going to line that one out on the first pitch to James Paul. Paul pitching out of Minot Street University, Garden Grove, California. 4.82 ERA, 9 1/3 innings pitched, a 1-0 record. 7 strikeouts to 10 walks. He will go to work now against Ashton Thomas. Thomas broke out of his hitting streak, or his hitless streak, rather, earlier today. We'll see if he can get things started for the offense today. We'll take ball number 1 low. Bam Thomas 2 for 3 in game number 1 today. Paul kicks, deals. That one will be chopped over to Caden Ellis. Makes the throw, and he is safe. The throw pulled first baseman Logan White off the bag, and that'll be an infield single, or that'll be scored an error on Caden Ellis.
There you
So
go.
already 1 error, 1 nice break for the Copperheads to get things started here in the first inning.
Yeah, Tim, I think they caught Caden Ellis a little bit cold. Didn't play in the first game, so just kind of coming into the game, gets a play immediately to him. And good work for the Copperheads. Bam Thomas now putting together a solid day, reaching base, 3 out of his 4 attempts.
Trey Rucker up to the plate now, takes ball number 1 low. Trey Rucker DHing in this one. That one will go 6-4-3 double play, and that will end the inning out the double play by from Trey Rucker. So we'll stick around actually. We'll go over defensive alignment for the Copperheads and the batting order for the Licking County Settlers. So we'll start with the batting order for the Settlers. The leadoff hitter, Turner Hill, once again. Caden Ellis will hit number 2. Drew Garth, 3rd. Logan Swanger, the GLSCL Player of the Week, will hit 4th. Ryan Davis out of that 5 spot. Nick Lukak, Logan White, Ben Kaplan, and Tuane Cope. For the Copperheads, Cedric, you want to go over the defensive alignment for them?
Yeah, so, again, a lot of things staying the same, but you have a few changes, of course, behind the dish. Instead of Silva, you have Matt Friesen. And then on your infield, you have Bam Thomas still keeping that first base role. Carson Shepard still keeping his second base spot. And then Mason Nadolny at third base, Stallings at shortstop. So staying the same in the infield. And then in the outfield, we have Ian Crump at left field, Ortiz at right field. And, of course, at center field, we're switching up here with Clayton Hodges. So Hodges getting his opportunity to play a little center field. Ratliff will get the game off here as he gets ready for the Scout Combine coming up tomorrow, the Prospect Showcase, where a couple of Major League Scouts will be in attendance. So, again, big day for a lot of these players coming up tomorrow. So it's good to get a lot of those all-stars rested. We don't see Josh Steidel noticeably. Don't see a couple of other players. You won't see Borer or you won't see Walter. Only all-star right now getting some action will be Mason Nadolny in this game.
Likely, too, because he has been out the last couple of days nursing that that injury, so just want to get fresh, get ready to go in that game. On the mound today for the Copperheads, Matt Gilkey, 1-0 record on the year, picked up a big win against the Xenia Scouts in the first game of their doubleheader at their place. 9 ERA, 3 strikeouts to 6 walks in 7 innings pitched. In that appearance against the Xenia Scouts, 5 innings pitched, 1 run, 1 earned, 5 hits, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Big, big improvement from his first time that he played. So we'll hope that he can continue to carry that momentum. But he'll have to do it first against Turner Hill. Turner Hill in that first game, 1 for 4. As Gilkey will set to deliver the first pitch just outside for ball number 1. Gilkey delivers 1-0 pitch in there for a strike to even the count at 1-1.
Yeah, one thing that really impressed me about Gilkey was his game control against the Xenia Scouts. I mean, you're going against a very hot team. They were able to have a lot of batters that were doing really well. They were on a huge win streak as well. And again, Gilkey coming in, pitching a really solid game. Again, it was a big win for the Coppers, a win they needed.
2-1 pitch is low for ball number 3. So the count's 3-1 to Hill, trying to avoid a walk. That one will be chopped over to Carson Shepard. The throw to Thomas in time for out number 1. Turner Hill goes down on the 4-3 ground out. And that will bring up Caden Ellis, the second baseman, up to the plate. We'll see a couple of the Licking County Settlers in tomorrow's All-Star game. A couple guys getting the start. Adam Crawford, Danny Estrada. Neither of them will play tonight, as well as Logan Swanger will be a pitcher, as that one goes over to Shepard as well for a 4-3 ground out. It's 2 straight to Carson Shepard, and he'll be a big focal point of this defense tonight, trying to limit those errors. He's had quite a few and unfortunately some inopportune spots, so we'll see if he's able to correct those mistakes. And he's a good defender, just sometimes is victim to some errors.
Yeah, those happen. He's a very eager player. He knows when he makes those mistakes. We'll watch through the film and go back through YouTube and stuff to be able to see what the mistakes were. And Carson Shepard, just with the way he approaches the game, we've seen how he approaches it through batting as well. He's been seeing the ball really well, been asking umpires as well for what is the strike zone like. And he's a very smart player, so I expect him to continue to improve. And that's what this summer is all about, of course, being able to train, improve, and just become more consistent.
Drew Garth doing work now. 1-1 is the count as Gilkey kick steals right downtown for strike number 2. Drew Garth, 302 on the year, 3 homers and 18 RBIs. Gilkey, the 1-2, just outside for ball number 2. Evens the count at 2-2, 2 outs. Here in game number 2 of this doubleheader. Gilkey sets, rung him up, strike number 3. That's the first strikeout of the day for Matt Gilkey, and the Licking County Settlers go 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the first inning. When we return in the top of the second, Clayton Hodges, Mason Nadolny, and Maverick Stallings. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. Back here in the top of the second, bit of a defensive switch for the Licking County Settlers. Caleb Johnson will come in. We saw him play first in game number 1. He'll go out to left field. Dwayne Cope will slide over to center as Logan Swanger exits. First pitch to Clayton Hodges. Missed lows. Ball number 1 to Hodges. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Game number 1, Hodges 0 for 1, came into pinch hit in that one. Technically came in as a catcher to pinch hit for Sebastian Silva in the bottom of, or the top of the ninth, 7th rather. That one will miss outside. 2-1 is the count to Clayton Hodges. Hitting .250, 7 RBIs on the year. Been playing a lot recently. 2-1 misses low, and that'll jump the count to 3-1 to Clayton Hodges.
Clayton Hodges, another one of those players on the Copperheads that had a really good last week. It was one of the best weeks for the Southern Ohio Copperheads. He batted .313 over those 7 days and had hits in 5 out of his last 7 games as well.
Paul kick steals. That one sent back into the net. We'll load the count at 3-2.
Yeah, we saw Hodges at the end of game number 1. He came into pitch hit for a little bit. That's why that 5 out of the last 7 game status turned to 5 out of the last 8.
Payoff pitch. Just missing on that outside part of the plate for ball number 4. So that's the first base runner of the day. Rather, the second base runner of the day. First walk of the day. Clayton Hodges moves up to first. Mason Nadolny, all-star third baseman, will step up to the plate now. Not sure how much we'll see of him in this one, as you mentioned, Sedric. He is starting in that all-star game tomorrow. He'll get the first 5 innings. As that one will get hit out into the gap, Hodges is going to take off for third, and that'll put runners on the corners for the Copperheads here in the top of the second inning.
Good jump by Hodges. He was attempting to steal second, but the timing was just perfect there for Mason Nadolny to dial up the hit. And I think not having played for over a week, he had to shake the rust off a little bit in the first game, had a real rough out there, but he's really bounced back pretty well for game number 2. It seems like he's back to the form he was throughout the month of June.
Nadolny 0 for 3 in that first game. Average Stallings now. I'm good to go to work. Paul kick steals. Takes ball number 1 low. With runners on the corners, Clayton Hodges on third just to the left of your screen, and Mason Nadolny on first just to the right of your screen. Again, we do apologize for the weird camera angle. They've got us in a different spot than we were before, and the laptop not quite cooperating today, so we're doing the best we can to bring you Copperhead baseball on this last day before a one-day all-star break. That one will chop into the dirt. And that will make the count 2-1 for Maverick Stallings. In that first game, Stallings 0 for 3. He's not quite able to get things going. 2-1 pitch. Missing again outside. And the count will move to 3-1 for Maverick Stallings. See if he'll take a hack at it or just potentially sit back on it. Make Paul throw him a strike. 3-1 pitch. Misses low, and the bases will be loaded for the Copperheads here in the top of the second inning. A critical spot, Sedric, for the Copperheads is they can't afford to leave 3 runners on here.
100%, Tim. We've seen the Copperheads work in this situation time and time again, and it's been about a coin flip whether they've been able to bring guys home. They'll have a couple of hitters that have been able to bring in a few RBIs on the season. We'll see if Friesen, Ortiz, or Crump can come up huge, and also preventing double plays. We saw that hurt the Copperheads as well last game.
Matt Friesen will take strike number 1. Friesen returning to the lineup today. Had a couple of days off as well, hitting 172 with 3 RBIs and looking to increase that total here. The 0-1, chopper foul for strike number 2. Quickly down 0-2 with Diego Ortiz standing in the on-deck circle. No score, no outs here in the top of the second inning. Big Red Field at Denison University. The 0-2 pitch. Just missing on that outside part of the plate for ball number 1.
Yeah, Tim, in any of these short 7-inning games, getting a great start is key to winning it. We saw what happened with the Settlers. They scored the first 2 runs of the game in the first, then added a third one, and that ended up being enough runs to even win the game at that point. So, again, starting fast is key. Can the Copperheads do a good job of clearing these bases? You got 3 runners on.
Looks like they rung him up for strike number 3, so Friesen will go down on strikes, and that sends Diego Ortiz to the plate. Diego Ortiz, in his final game of the year with the Copperheads, will have to return to UAB here tomorrow. So thank you to Diego for coming up here and representing the Copperheads well. Great. He also was able to come out on the broadcast with me the one day that you filled in at the PA announcing, Sedric. Really knowledgeable guy about the game of baseball. And has a real good story as well. 1-0 pitch. It's an outside for ball number 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy we're getting to that late part of the year where, again, guys are going to have to start reporting back. And then even then, you only have a couple of games left in the season, only 9 if you don't include this one. So, again, it's almost a little bit emotional because you got to grow close to these guys throughout the whole season. We've gone on the bus. We've seen their wins. We've seen their losses, the high points, the low points. And we all wish them the best at their next parts of their careers. It was already said, again, saying bye to David Go as well as Andrew Clellan already on the year. And Ortiz will be the next one to go back.
2-1 pitch. Fouled back into the net. So that'll even the count at 2-2 here. Going to be huge for the Copperheads to get a run here, whether it is Diego Ortiz or Ian Crump, but have to score runs here. You can't leave the bases loaded in a situation like this and expect to be able to come away, get a win, especially in a 7-inning game. Paul will look on. Kick deal. Strike number 3. And Diego Ortiz goes down on strikes. 2 straight strikeouts for Jake Paul. His 8th and 9th strikeout. Or, sorry, 7th and 8th. Oh, my goodness. 7th and 8th strikeout on the year. So that'll send Ian Crump to the plate. Crump hitting 0.86 on the year, looking for his first RBI.
Yeah, another situation where he has bases loaded, and he comes up to bat. It was that one big time against the Mariners up in the top of the 8th, where the Copperheads had bases loaded, a chance to potentially take the lead or eat into the lead a little bit, but wasn't able to get it done. So we'll see if Ian Crump can get it done at this time around.
Took strike number 1, and now we'll take ball number 1 to even the count at 1-1, 2 outs. Clayton Hodges on third, Mason Nadolny on second, and Maverick Stallings on first. No runs, 2 outs here in the top of the second. Yes. James Paul will get the sign. And deliver. Swung on and missed for strike number 2. So now the Copperheads will be down to their final strike here in the bottom or top of the second inning with the bases loaded. And Sedric, I just think this will be a tough one to come back from if they're not able to score at least a run here. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. 3 straight strikeouts for James Paul. After loading the bases, is able to work himself out of this one. And the Copperheads will leave the bases loaded here in the top of the second. When we return, it'll be Johnson, Davis, and Lukic. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperheads Baseball on YouTube. back here in the bottom of the second inning. Copperheads left them loaded in that top of the second, but Matt Gilkey will go back to work working against Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson in that first game.
Yeah, Tim, the only thing you want to leave loaded is a baked potato, not the bases. And we saw what the Copperheads did there. That's a big mistake in this game when the start is key in a 7-inning game. If they could have gotten at least one just to get a little bit of momentum, it would have been huge. It would have been their first lead of the entire afternoon. But instead, you have to now face the adversity and face the hurdle that now comes as you worked so hard to get the bases loaded in the first place, and then it just gets stripped away from you. It's just like what we saw when we had a hit from Clayton Hodges that we thought was a hit and then was called fair or called out at the last second.
The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed, and it'll be 1-2 now for Caleb Johnson. Johnson went 2 for 3 in game number 1, playing over there at first base. The 1-2 pitch from Gilkey. Rung up for strike number 3. Looking, the second strikeout of the afternoon from Matt Gilkey, who has picked up where he left off in that Xenia game. Looking really impressive, able to find that strike zone here today at Big Red Field.
Yeah, Tim, your friend out there is doing absolutely fantastic ever since that Xenia Scouts game. He had to shake off the rust in game number 1, but his game number 2, ever since then, he's been sharp.
Ryan Davis will go to work now. Take strike number 1. Ryan Davis playing third base today. Gilkey the 0-1. Inside for strike number 2. So down 0-2 is Ryan Davis. Ryan Davis hitting 194, 5 RBIs on the year. The 0-2 pitch misses low and outside for ball number 1. Matt Gilkey, 9.0 ERA. Now with 5 strikeouts, or 6 strikeouts rather, on the year. 5 strikeouts, excuse me. Looking at the wrong line. 2-2 pitch is on its way. Swung on and missed as the bat goes farther than the ball. Bat goes all the way out there to Nadolny at third base and avoided a little bit of danger there.
Yeah, I mean, if
But
the
Davis
bat
will
was
go down
the
on
baseball,
strikes.
I don't think. Have you ever seen something like that?
I think it should have counted for a double out if Nadolny went over to try and catch that bat.
Yeah, could have been the most unique double play you would have ever seen.
But nonetheless, Nick Lukac will come up to the plate. Gilkey now 3 strikeouts as he'll chop that one over to Carson Shepard. Makes the play on one hop to Bam Thomas. And the Settlers go 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the second. Matt Gilkey absolutely dialing up this team right now. No hits, 3 strikeouts on 6 batters. So when we return for the Copperheads, it'll be the top of the lineup once again. Carson Shepard, Bam Thomas, and Trey Rucker. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. As we head here into the top of the third inning, Copperheads technically bat through the order, did not bat around the order, just through it in the first 2 innings. So Carson Shepard back up to the plate now after leaving the bases loaded in the second inning. The Copperheads will go back to work here in the third. Still 0-0 ball game here at Big Red Field, Denison University. Shep ahead in the count 1-0. Now ahead in the count 2-0. Working against James Paul. Paul, a 4.82 ERA through 9 1/3 inning. And Copperheads looking to take game number 2. And what we kind of are looking at, Sedric, is a must-win game for this team. Is not very many opportunities left in this year. This is coming up. This would be the 11th game remaining, or we're in the middle of the 11th game remaining for this team.
Yes, we are. I mean, it's do or die time here for the Copperheads. If not, then at least try to be here, play spoiler, do a couple of teams. There's a lot of teams vying for that playoff spot, and we have a chance to play our own role here in the playoff race. The Steam are in 3rd place. The Settlers are in 2nd place. Those are the next 2 teams that we're playing. Actually, Settlers are in 1st place after their win over the Copperheads earlier today. So the Copperheads still can at least make some noise in the division. And if we have a miracle, win the last 10, we might have ourselves a shot, or win the last 11 if we can pull off this victory here on the road. Right now, Copperheads looking good overall, at least on the pitching and fielding. But we'll see if Bam Thomas can get on and help Carson Shepard advance.
Bam Thomas going to get the signal from Coach Lanning. Carson Shepard on first base. He'll show bunt. And Paul's just going to step off the mound here. Step back on. See what Bam Thomas can do. Had a really nice game, number 1, 2 for 3. As he'll take ball number 1. See a little bit aggressive base running probably in this one from Carson Shepard. He was caught stealing in that last inning, tried to get an extra base and wasn't able to get there in time. The 1-0 is outside for ball number 2. Licking County Settlers, 17-12 on the year. Copperheads, 11-17. Settlers in 2nd, Copperheads in last place. 2-0 pitch from Paul will hit Bam Thomas, so he'll take his base. And that's now another 2 base runners on with no outs for the Southern Ohio Copperheads.
Yeah, Bam Thomas reaches first base for the 2nd time today. Hasn't had to get any hits to get there either. The first time was reached on an error. 2nd time, a hit by pitch. And we've seen our fair share of times where there's been batters that have been walked, batters that have been hit by pitch, reaching on errors. Copperheads have had some gifts given to them. Now they just got to cash in.
The 5th base runner of the day is Bam Thomas, and still no runs to show for it, Sedric, so not something that's going to be very sustainable in this game if they'd like to not only get the lead, but then hold that lead and close it out here. We're only playing a 7-inning game today, 2nd game of the doubleheader, so it will be critical here for the Copperheads to try and get a couple of runs in this early part of the game and possibly even get James Paul out of this game as early as possible, see what kind of other things the Settlers have in their bullpen. Trey Rucker will show bunt, and that one will get away from him. Now the throw back down to Shepard, not in time. Trey Rucker on the year, 266 with 8 RBIs.
Looking for home run number 1. He's been close multiple times. He's been robbed by center fielders of a couple of teams. Trying to take advantage of some of the smaller ballparks. This is a bigger ballpark, though.
1-0 pitch sent on a line, and that'll be a double play. And it looks like there was a potential for a triple play. Good heads-up play there by Nick Lukic.
Yeah, that was just exceptional. Again, he showed great, again, the ball was coming at him. You had a runner in the way, and he just showed great vision to continue having his eye on the ball, making the catch. But again, just too many double plays. This is the 4th or 5th double play that the Copperheads have hit into. And again, it just gets frustrating after a while, man, because these guys will go and they'll get good contact, but it's just all for nothing.
That one hit on a line, and Shepard probably honestly didn't even see that ball was caught until it was too late. Lukic running over to step on second base. So Clayton Hodges now will step up to the plate. Bam Thomas on first with 2 outs, as that one's going to sail over his head for ball number 1. Even the count at 1-1. First game, Hodges came into pinch hit for Sebastian Silva, went 0 for 1 in that one. 250 with 7 RBIs. The 1-1 pitch, just outside for ball number 2. And it'll be a 1-2 count. Now that one in there for a strike. So the 1-2 pitch is on its way. Sent out into right field. Turner Hill giving chase. Flashes the leather. Makes the grab for out number 3. So that's another base runner left on for the Copperheads. That's 4 runners left on base here in the first 3 innings. And when we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, we will see Logan White, Ben Kaplan, and Tuane Cope. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. Here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Bottom of the 3rd inning today brought to you by Ohio Health. Thank you to Ohio Health, as always, for sponsoring the Southern Ohio Copperheads. 0-1 to Logan White. Logan White hitting 180 with 9 RBIs on the year. Did not play in game number 1, and he'll take strike number 2. So 0-2 from Matt Gilkey. Matt Gilkey only about 23 pitches into this game in his 4th inning of work, as he'll get a swinging strike there. The 4th strikeout of the day for Matt Gilkey. Really impressed with what he's been able to do today.
Yeah, and he has to be perfect here today. The Copperheads still getting used to getting in the game here for the bats, and we've seen some hits, but they haven't been able to finish. But if Gilkey can do a good job shutting out the Settlers, that'll put the Copperheads in position to just need one. See if we see a complete game from him.
First pitch to Ben Kaplan, just outside for ball number 1. Kaplan, 8 for 17 on the year, so not very many at-bats for him, but hitting .470 with 2 RBIs. He'll take strike 1 and even the count at 1-1. Copperheads have left 4 runners on base in this one. The Settlers looking for their first base runner of the afternoon. 2-1 now to Kaplan. Gilkey will get the sign. Kick and deal. Low for ball number 3. up the count to 3-1 for Ben Kaplan, working against Matt Gilkey. 3-1 pitch. Chopper to Shepard. Flips it to Thomas for out number 1. That's a connection, Sedric, that we've seen go really well a lot of the time, and unfortunately sometimes really bad. So good to see that today they are on the same page with that communication and being able to make the easy throws back and forth.
Yeah, 100%, Tim. We saw that connection have some issues when Shepard was at third base and Bam Thomas was at first base, and they just seem not to be able to connect. But here with Shepard at second and Bam Thomas at first, it seems to be a very, very great combination.
Twain Cope stepping into the box now with 2 outs. As Gilkey delivers the 1-0 in there for a strike. Will even the count at 1-1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Pitch sent foul, and that will make the count 1-2. 1-2 count to Twain Cope, hitting 200 on the year with 3 RBIs. Gilkey delivers, popped up and sent foul. Out of play. So we'll do it again here at 1-2. Gilkey trying to close out this inning and give his offense yet another chance to score some runs when we head to the 4th. Gilkey kicks, deals. Rung him up, strike number 3, the 5th strikeout of the day, just through 3 innings for Matt Gilkey. He has their number today, Sedric.
Yeah, he's shutting them down. He's getting them looking, getting them swinging, getting them everywhere. It seems like the bats of the Settlers don't even know where to go, as we've seen some really solid play, not only from Gilkey, but also Carson Shepard and Bam Thomas in the infield. If the Copperheads want to win this game, they got to keep this up, as they now retired the entire order of the Licking County Settlers.
When we return for the Copperheads, we will see the numbers 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Mason Adolny, Maverick Stallings, and Matt Friesen. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. As we head to the top of the 4th inning, Mason Adolny will dig in, the all-star third baseman, trying to get things going for the Copperheads here in the top of the 4th. Will take ball number 1, low and in the turf from James Paul. Paul in his 4th inning of work now so far today. 3 innings, 1 hit, no earned, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. He'll send that one into the left-handed batter's box. And the dirt for ball number 2. Copperheads have left 4 batters on base. Still scoreless in this one, 0-0 at Big Red Field. Paul, look on. Kick and deal, swing and a miss for strike number 1. Got him on the low pitch there in the bottom part of that zone.
Yeah, sort of a bend but don't break approach here from the Settlers. They've given up some base runners, but have not allowed anybody to get home.
2-1 pitch, high for ball number 3. So 3-1 count now to Mason Adolny. Again, we'll see Nadolny tomorrow at the All-Star game, Presco Park in Mason, Ohio. 3-1 pitch, swung on and missed. And we'll load the count here at 3-2. Should be a great day for baseball tomorrow, the GLSCL All-Star Game. Sedric Granger will be doing some writing. Our wonderful social media director, Skylar Watts, will be live tweeting the game as Nadolny will go down on strikes for strike number 1. Myself and a couple other members of the Copperheads staff will be doing game day operations with the great crew over there. And then, of course, the broadcast team, Andrew Allison from the Licking County Settlers and Luke West-Poley from the Hamilton Joes will be on the call for that one.
Yeah, Tim, I think we fell just short of making all-star pitcher. Hopefully we'd be an alternate or so. But, again, those are two great guys getting that selection there. Andrew Allison been doing it for a while here for teams in the GLSCL. So big congrats to him, as well as Luke West-Poley, the new guy as well, getting his name out there and getting that spot.
The 1-1 pitch, or the 1-0 pitch, rather, swung on and missed for strike number 1 to Maverick Stalling. His second appearance in this one. 1-1 pitch in the dirt, hit just outside of the left-handed batter's box there. His first appearance. Stalling reached on a walk and was stranded on first base in that second inning. The 2-1 pitch from Paul, also in the dirt. Struggling to find the zone a little bit here in this one, as the count will now be 3-1. Got a couple guys on strikeouts in this one, I believe. Yeah, 4 strikeouts. So still doing good work, just not quite able to locate the zone, as he does also have 3 walks. 3-1 pitch is low, and that'll be walk number 4 of the day. The second walk of the day for Maverick Stalling, still looking for his first plate appearance, technically, in this one. Matt Friesen, the Ohio University catcher, and really infielder as well, too. Getting a chance to catch today, as it looks like the skipper will come out. Could see the end of the day for James Paul. See if we got anybody up in the bullpen.
Yep.
And it will be the end of the day for James Paul. So official stats for him: 3 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. We'll take a quick break while the new pitcher gets warmed up. It's still a 0-0 ball game with a runner on first and 1 out. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. Welcome back here to the top of the 4th inning. Maverick Stallings on first base. Matt Friesen in the batter's box, 1 out. And a new pitcher for the Licking County Settlers, Connor Heinemann from University of Dayton.
Yeah, stands at 6'7", is 0-1 on the season, has a 5.87 ERA in 7 2/3 innings pitched. One of those other guys that has about a ratio of strikeout to walks about the same, 9 strikeouts, 8 walks. So a bit of a mixed bag. You don't know what you'll see from him. As Copperheads, they had their chance to really take advantage of James Paul, who's having some issues with control, and they weren't able to execute. So now they'll have to do so against the new pitcher here in Connor Heinemann.
Heinemann comes in, throws strike number 1. He'll look over at first and throw back to keep Stalling honest. Matt Friesen, the Ohio University guy, playing all over the infield this season. Will await the 0-1 pitch. Sent out to Lukic, who throws 6-4, 3, double play. And that will end the inning here in the top of the 4th. The third double play of the day that the Copperheads have grounded into, and will leave this 4th inning scoreless as well. So still a 0-0 ball game here at Big Red Field at Denison University. When we return for the Settlers, will be the top of the order: Turner Hill, Caden Ellis, and Drew Garth. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperheads Baseball on YouTube. As we head here to the bottom of the 4th inning, the top of the lineup for the Licking County Settlers, Turner Hill, Caden Ellis, and Drew Garth will all go to work against Matt Gilkey, who so far 3 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts. He'll throw strike number 1 there to Turner Hill, 0 for 1 on the day. Ground out to second, and now he'll ground out to Maverick Stallings at shortstop for the first out of the inning. A quick out in that one for the Copperheads. Gilkey, only 26 pitches now entering this 4th inning of work. And the biggest thing that jumps off the page to me, Sedric, no walks yet in this one for Matt Gilkey.
No walks at all. His infield has been backing him up, but he's also been doing his job himself as well, picking up 5 strikeouts. That time, Maverick Stallings and Bam Thomas combined for a great play. Bam Thomas has shown so much growth as a first baseman. He started the year off as just an outfielder and then has wanted to pick up the first base position and had some rough games as well, but he started to show just a whole lot better just sense of being there. I mean, he got a lot better. He showed the opportunity where against the Scouts, he did a good job of sensing the bunt coming, and he was able to make a good play and deliver one to third for an out. And then now you see him scoop that ball up. So he's just starting to get that 6th sense for playing first baseman as we see the first base runner now.
Caden Ellis gets hit by Matt Gilkey, so that'll be the first base runner of the game. Drew Garth will step up now with 1 out. Settlers looking to strike first in this one, a 0-0 ball game. After the Settlers won game number 1, 5-0, Garth will unload and send that one out over onto the softball field next door for strike number 1. Drew Garth 0 for 1 in this one.
Yeah, we've already reached the halfway point of this game, Tim.
Game is flying very quickly. Only 1 hit in this game. So a bit of a difference than what we saw in that first game where Settlers really had it going on offense. And Copperheads got it going a little bit there in the middle of the game, but is not able to finish that one out. Allowed a couple of runs late. Give the Settlers the win. Next pitch is chopped over to Stallings. It'll be 6-3 on the double play. And that one will end the inning off the 6-3 double play from Maverick Stallings. So Stallings counts for all 3 outs in this inning. Helps Matt Gilkey out a little bit after he hit Caden Ellis. So we'll head to the top of the 5th inning. Only 2 innings remain when we come back, Sedric. It'll be Diego Ortiz, Ian Crump, and then back to the top, Carson Shepard. When we return, you're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. Back here, top of the 5th inning, flying through this game. Only about an hour into this one, we're already in the top of the 5th inning. Both pitchers and defenses been carrying the work. In this one, Diego Ortiz will pop that one up in the shallow infield. The third baseman, Ryan Davis, will get underneath it for out number 1. So another quick out here in the inning as both teams are looking to get things going offensively. Sedric, Copperheads have left quite a few guys on base, 4 guys in this, 1 runner in the 3rd, and then, of course, left them loaded in that 2nd inning.
Yeah, Tim, this is one of those games where it's super frustrating that we don't have the lead right now, and I know the players in the dugout might be feeling the same way. You had multiple chances to score, and when you have a pitcher pitching so well like Gilkey right now, and you had some times where you were given a couple of gifts on walks, on hit by pitches, errors, you have to take advantage. But still, there's plenty of time left. You're going to have 3 more chances to at bat, including this inning. So you just got to get one. Just got to find your one. At least give Gilkey a lead to work with. I know that'll, again, he doesn't need even any more pep in his step. He's already doing pretty well. But, again, just to have a lead to defend would be huge.
Ian Crump fouls that one down the line. So 0-1 for Ian Crump. Crump 0 for 1 in this one. Struck out in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, it was a big strikeout. It was that one that, again, when the Copperheads had the bases loaded, nobody out, we saw 3 straight strikeouts, which was the high point for James Paul, striking out Friesen, Ortiz, and Crump all in a row, all swinging.
1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. So Crump will go down on strikes. And that'll bring up the top of the order now. Carson Shepard the Ohio University infielder. We'll try to get things started here for the Copperheads with 2 outs and no runs. This team is in desperate need right now for a run, as Matt Gilkey pitching so well through 4 innings of work. 5 strikeouts, no hits, no runs, and no walks. Working against Connor Heinemann.
Yeah, it's even
Heinemann 1 1/3 with 1 strikeout, 2 strikeouts. That one will get fouled out of play. The count will be 1-1.
Yeah, it's key to note that even in the Copperheads win streak, they only were putting up about 4 runs a game. They had 1 run in their Scouts win, 4 runs apiece in their Scouts doubleheader first game and Jazz win, and then against the Steam, they only had 5. So, again, not putting up a lot of runs, but 4 or 5 is definitely a lot better than 1 or 2, which has been where the Copperheads have been at these past couple of games now.
Did not go on the check swing, so the count is 2-1 with 2 outs to Carson Shepard. Heinemann looks on, kicks, deals. That one is fouled back right into the net, and if that net wasn't there, that ball would have been sitting in my lap. On a nice trajectory to make the catch here at Big Red Field. So 2-2 to Carson Shepard. Heinemann looks on, kicks, deals. 2-2 is low and will load the count at 3-2. Carson Shepard with a walk and a ground out, part of a double play in this one. Payoff pitch is fouled back into the bullpen. And we'll do it again here full. A couple of kids down there trying to get the ball. Missed that one, and the payoff pitch will be high. And Carson Shepard, his first walk of the day. Second walk of the day. Part of that double play in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, it's just amazing what he's been able to do, forcing just so many walks. It's insane, as we're up to 7 walks on this road trip. This is game 4 of the road trip here for the Copperheads. And again, to force that many walks, that is absolutely terrific.
First pitch to Bam Thomas in there for a strike. Bam Thomas hitting 200 on the year, really come into his own these last couple of days. And started with the big win against the Cincinnati Steam about 8 games ago now at this point on July 4th. But a big coming out game for him as he was in a bit of a slump there in the middle of June. As the count is now 1-1 to him. Still scoreless in this one here in the top of the 4th. Carson Shepard on first and 2 outs. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike number 2. So now the Copperheads down to their final out, or final strike rather, here in this one. Inning number 5 of a 7-inning doubleheader in game number 2 against the Licking County Settlers. Team we'll be very familiar with. Payoff pitch. Chopper to Caden Ellis. Makes the throw in time. And that's out number 3 in this one. So the Copperheads leave another base runner on. Make that 5 on the day as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Bottom of the 5th for the Settlers. We will see Caleb Johnson, Ryan Davis, and Nick Lukak. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Caleb Johnson will go to work for the Licking County Settlers. He'll have to face Matt Gilkey, pitcher for the Copperheads. 4 innings, no hits, and 5 strikeouts as that one will get sent all the way out to the wall. That ball is carrying. That ball hit the warning track, and he will get held up at second base. The first hit of the game ends Matt Gilkey's no-hitter, a leadoff double for Caleb Johnson on a well-hit ball, Sedric.
Yeah, it was an absolute bomb out there, and they seem to get him in those really good spots, that perfect spot in between center field and right field, making it really tough on both Ortiz and Hodges out there. And again, just a good piece of hitting. First time we see it today, though, but Gilkey now gets to go through a little bit of adversity here. He's been controlling the game. Now he has to deal with the runner in scoring position. We'll see how Gilkey steps up.
Logan White. Ryan Davis will take ball number 1 as Caleb Johnson ended the no-hitter. That one will head out to center field, and no tag from Caleb Johnson for out number 1. Clayton Hodges makes the play, gets underneath that one, and prevents that runner from advancing another 90 feet into scoring position.
That's going to be key with all these fly outs. Anytime you have a deep fly ball, it's going to be on those outfielders to make sure they have a good vision and make sure that they kind of angle their bodies towards that base path between second and third base to be able to prevent runners from going. Copperheads have done a good job of that all throughout the season, and they'll need Hodges, Ortiz, as well as Crump to be strong at that in case we see any more fly balls.
Nick Lukac will send that one, and it's an error on Maverick Stallings. Looks like the runner will get a hold break sign there at third base, and that'll be scored an error on Maverick Stallings. That one took a weird hop, and he wasn't able to glove that one cleanly, so Lukac will come up to the plate. Lukac will come up to first base, and Logan White will step into the box now. See if we'll see a bunt from him. As Gilkey in a bit of a jam here. First pitch, a blooper out into shallow right field, and the runner will come across on the RBI single from Logan White. That'll be the first run of the game, and the Settlers will take a 1-0 lead here off the RBI single from Logan White.
Yeah, another tricky spot here. Copperheads, again, they did a good job keeping the game scoreless for quite a while. Now the Settlers are really starting to settle into this game, for lack of a better term. And now they got 2 runners on and only 1 out. See if Gilkey can work out of it. But now this puts the pressure on the Copperheads. The bats have been really cold. They just haven't been able to finish too well. And now they're going to have to get a run if they're going to win this game.
Ben Kaplan stand in and take ball number 1 on that outside part of the plate. Kaplan 0 for 1 on the day in this one, but the Settlers do lead it 1-0. Logan White drove in the first run of the game. Gilkey will look back at second, deliver, and the pitch will be grounded over to Bam Thomas for out number 2, but the runners do advance another 90 feet. Lukac on third and Logan White on second here with 2 outs. Settlers lead it 1-0.
2-out rally. That's one thing that the Settlers are trying to do, one thing the Copperheads have been susceptible to. See how Gilkey handles this sort of situation. 2 runners in scoring.
Dwayne Cope will step in, and Cade Williamson over there made a nice point. A hard-hit ground ball likely score both Logan White and Nick Lukac, so Copperheads will have to avoid that one to keep this close, as we're running out of time in this one, Sedric.
We sure are.
2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, only playing a 7-inning game. Gilkey will look on. 1-0. Chopper to Bam Thomas. Gilkey running over, makes the tag in time. Nice communication between Gilkey and Bam Thomas. So that's the end of the 5th inning. And the Settlers snatch the lead up in this one. They take a 1-0 lead off the RBI single from Logan White, who scored Caleb Johnson. When we return for the Copperheads, we will see Trey Rucker, Clayton Hodges, and Mason Nadolny. Copperheads trail by 1 here on Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. Here in the top of the 6th inning, Copperheads need a run to tie it up here. Only playing 7 innings here at Big Red Field. Game 2 of the doubleheader, Copperheads versus the Licking County Settlers. Trey Rucker will stand in and take strike number 1 on that outside part of the plate. Gilkey, no hit through 5 innings, and then a double and a couple of singles. Scored a couple guys. A big high fly ball into center field. Twain Cope underneath it to retire Trey Rucker. But the Settlers finally able to figure out Gilkey and get on the board here.
Now batting
See if Gilkey stays in. I don't see any activity there for the Copperheads, so we'll likely see him at least another inning. Clayton Hodges will step in now with 1 out to try and get a run back. First pitch to Hodges, missing inside for a ball 1. A little bit high as well on that one. Heinemann delivers. Hodges will chop that one over to Ryan Davis at first base. The throw in time for out number 2. So that'll bring up Mason Nadolny. Nadolny, of course, the all-star third baseman for the Copperheads, back in the lineup today after missing a bit of time. Told Coach Lanning today he's about 90% healthy, so wanted to get back out there and get a couple of at-bats today, a couple of opportunities to field some ground balls for that all-star game tomorrow. He'll take ball number 1.
Yeah, it'll be a huge day for a lot of these players on the Copperheads, a team where there's a lot of players that got selected and got the notice there for the all-star game. Of course, the voting process, I was asking Coach Lanning about that, and it was one of those things where at first they didn't allow all the coaches to really make their case for a player, and that allowed everybody to kind of just stick and vote for their guy. And once, for example, when they were talking about catchers, once Coach got a chance to talk about it, then we saw everybody talking. Steidel gets 7 votes.
Nadolny is going to turn on the burners as he sends that one out to right field. He will be in for a stand-up double to get things going. Maybe a 2-out rally here for the Copperheads. But Nadolny in there sent that one out to the right field corner for the first hit in quite a while for the Copperheads.
Yeah, we really miss Nadolny in the lineup. That's what he adds. He has a really good streak of consistency. And we heard from Coach earlier where he said on the base pass, don't worry about running too hard, especially when you're recovering from injury, just making sure to get there. So we saw him kind of jog it out there to second, but hit was so good and placed in such a good position. He was able to get 2 bases, even when not having to run all the way.
First pitch to Stalling in there for a strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Copperheads looking to get things started. 2 outs. That one will be popped up into shallow infield, and a couple of different guys running in on it, and that ball's going to drop. Mason Nadolny comes home to score, and Clayton Hodges with the RBI single. See if they score that. They were not going to score an error. That's just a single. It didn't hit anybody's glove, but Maverick Stallings put that ball in no man's land out there. And the 2-out rally comes through for the Copperheads, and they'll tie this one up at 1 apiece.
It is just like when it looked like this inning was about to be over. Stroke of good luck hit the Copperheads there. Of course, shout out to Maverick Stallings for putting it in a really good spot, so it made it tough where communication would have been key for the second baseman, the center fielder, and the right fielder to kind of converge on it. But again, sometimes you just got to get a good break here and a good break there to be able to pull off a victory.
The 1-0 pitch by Friesen sent up to the right and out of play for ball number 1. Or for strike number 1, rather. So a 1-1 count with Maverick Stallings on first base. 1-1 pitch. Sent foul out of play as well. That'll make the count 1-2. 2 outs. And the Copperheads finally tie this one up here in the top of the 6th inning. 1-2 pitch. Stallings going to go. He is safe there at second. And the count will be 2-2 to Matt Friesen.
Yeah, what a smooth slide there from Maverick Stallings. And for the Copperheads, they've shown a good job and doing a good job of just responding. I mean, you're down 1-0. You haven't scored at all throughout the game, had some frustrating moments, and you respond in this inning with a couple of really solid hits.
Heinemann, the 2-2, chopped over to Nellis. Hesitated, but got it in time. Nick Lukac got it in time over to Logan White, and that will end the inning. But the Copperheads able to tie the inning up at 1 apiece. A huge, huge RBI single from Maverick Stallings. When we return for the Settlers, the top of the order, Turner Hill, Cade Nellis, and Drew Garth. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. Back here in the bottom of the 6th, it is getting down to crunch time here for the Copperheads. Matt Gilkey still on the mound, working against Turner Hill, the top of the order. Copperheads tied it up there in the top of the 6th inning and will now continue to hold this lead. Gilkey on the mound, only 1 earned, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts through 5 innings pitched. 2-0 pitch on its way, sent out into shallow left field. The catch is made by Ian Crump. A nice play by him. And slid in to prevent Turner Hill from getting on base. That's out number 1.
Number 29, Cade Nellis.
Just what the Copperheads needed. Good start there and being able to get down the first batter, especially when he was up 2-0 in the count. So whenever that situation happens, when your fielding can back you up there and get an out, it means the world for Gilkey.
Gilkey will get the sign from Friesen and deliver the first pitch to Cade Nellis. High for ball number 1. Do a quick scoring summary here. Maverick in the 5th inning. Logan White scored Caleb Johnson on an RBI single. As Nellis will pop that one up to center field. Hodges makes the catch. Out number 2. And then, of course, in the 6th inning, Maverick Stallings, the RBI single that scores Mason Nadolny. So we got 2 outs here
Now batting for your
in the
Senators,
bottom of the 6th.
Number 12, Drew Garth.
Drew Garth. Drew Garth on the day. 0 for 2. Drew Garth 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He'll send that one out into foul territory. So big at-bat here. If the Copperheads are able to retire Drew Garth, they'll go into the 7th inning tied with a chance to take the lead in the final inning. The 0-1 from Gilkey misses high for ball number 1. Counts 1-1 now to Drew Garth. Drew Garth hitting .302, 3 homers, and 18 RBIs. 1-1 pitch from Gilkey. Swung on and missed for strike number 2. And Gilkey just 1 pitch away from his 6th strikeout of the day.
Yeah, it seems like Garth, he's one of those types of batters where he's going for the big hit every single time. So you might be able to get him swinging, especially on a higher pitch.
1-2 pitch outside for ball number 2. Even the count at 2-2, 2 outs. Nobody on here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Scores tied here, 1-1. We got ourselves a ball game. The 2-2 pitch chopped into the gap, and that's a base hit for Drew Garth. Out into left field. Ian Crump will corral that one. And the
Now batting for your Settlers, number 9, Caleb
The leading run
Johnson.
is now on first base. Caleb Johnson on the day, a strikeout and a double. And, of course, advanced to 3rd on the error. He'll look at Garth and deliver the first pitch high and outside for ball number 1. Ugh. Copperheads lead this one tied 1-1 in this one. Game 2 of the doubleheader. The 1-0 pitch, a high fly ball out to center field. Hodges drifting back, makes the catch for out number 3. So the Settlers will leave one on, and we're headed to the final inning here, the top of the 7th. Copperheads tied, locked in at this one, 1-1. When we return, it'll be Diego Ortiz, Ian Crump, and Carson Shepard. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. Top of the 7th here, Big Red Field, Denison University. We got ourselves a ball game here, folks. 1-1 in the top of the 7th. Gavin Mingus comes in to try and hold the Southern Ohio Copperheads to just 1 run and give his team a chance here in this one. Thank you to the 29 people here checking us out in this one. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Diego Ortiz will send that one up into shallow right field. Kate Turner Hill will come in to make the grab. And that'll be one quick out for the Copperheads. Copperheads got back into this one courtesy of the RBI single from Maverick Stallings, scored Mason Nadolny. Ian Crump, the number 9 hitter, will now step into the box. Crump today, 2 strikeouts. Working against Gavin Mingus. We'll take strike number 1. Copperheads need to hold here. Need to get a couple to take the lead, and then they'll head to the bottom of the 7th, try and win this one. Crump will swing on strike number 2. And Ian Crump will try and put it in play, get on base, and get things going for the Copperheads. The 0-2 pitch is high. Very similar stats across the box score here. 1 run apiece for each team, 3 hits apiece for each team, and 1 error apiece for each team. 1-2 pitch. Chopped, foul, just foul down the first baseline. And we'll do it again here at 1-2. In the on-deck circle, Carson Shepard, who really knows how to get on base. Reached on a couple of walks in this one. The 1-2 pitch from Mingus, just outside for ball number 1. And that will even the count at 2-2. On the day, Heinemann, 2 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, as that one will be popped up in the infield. Logan White makes the grab, and that's 2 outs in the bottom or the top of the 7th. Carson Shepard will now step in, the top of the lineup, number 1 hitter. Still looking for his first plate appearance of the day. Reached on a walk twice and ground out 1-3 in his first at bat. First pitch from Mingus in there for a ball. Heinemann on the day, 2 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. 1-0 pitch, right downtown for strike number 1. Copperheads down to their final out in this one, unless, of course, we head to extras. 1-1 pitch, sent on a line out into the gap in left center field. The center fielder, Twain Cope, gets underneath it. And it's now do or die time for the Copperheads. The defense will have to hold, or we're going to extras. Copperheads will get ready to take the field. When we return, we'll see the numbers 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Ryan Davis, Nick Lukic, and Logan White. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. It's the bottom of the 7th inning here at Denison University. Big red field. Copperheads and Settlers locked in at 1 apiece. Matt Gilkey still on the mound and delivers the first pitch in there for a ball to Ryan Davis. Ryan Davis looking for his first hit. And he'll take ball number 2. And the count will be 2-0. No outs in this one, no runners in a 1-1 game. The 2-0 pitch in there for a strike. Gilkey finds the zone for the first time in this one.
Copperheads have only been walked off on one time. It was up there in game number 3 against the Richmond Jazz.
That one will get hit down the right field line and go foul. Hop into the bullpen of the Copperheads. So it will even the count at 2-2. And a big pitch here for Matt Gilkey, get that first out of the inning. Ryan Davis, third baseman. Has a strikeout on the day. 2-2 pitch on the way. Sent out into foul territory. Mason Adolny getting underneath it. Lost it in the lights. And that one will bounce into the bullpen. And we'll do it again here at 2-2. Kind of lost that one up in the lights. He didn't kind of throwing his hands up like, oh, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. Or I guess in this case, no harm and a foul, as the ball did go foul. And they would have not had a chance getting that ball in the dugout. So nevertheless, it's 2-2 again. See if Gilkey can close
pitch
the door.
From Gilkey in the dirt. And will even the count, or will raise the count full at 3-2. Payoff pitch to Ryan Davis is high, and that's a walk for Matt Gilkey, his first of the day. First walk of the day, and that will bring Nick Lukic up to the plate, and the winning run is now on the bases. Still stands 270 feet away.
It is. It's essentially a sudden death situation now. You have no outs, one runner on first base. So kind of mimicking what a sudden death would be like.
He will show bunt and drop a perfect bunt. Friesen. Looks like that hits right off the plate, actually, and that'll be a foul ball. But a really nice bunt attempt there from Lukic. Friesen with a nice reaction to it, but a little bit late getting that ball corralled. So we'll do it again here at 0-1. Again, a 1-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 7th. Do or die time for the Copperheads. Throw back down to first, not in time. And the count is 1-1 to Nick Lukic. Lukic 0 for 2 on the day. And Logan White on first base. Throw over to first base, not in time. That one kind of slipped off Gilkey's hand and rolled over there to Bam Thomas. Nick Lukic stands in, gets the signal, the 1-1, shows bunt, pulls it back, and the count is now 2-1. Copperheads trying to avoid getting walked off here. Already dropped game 1 of the doubleheader, but played really well. Gilkey came out and asserted his dominance to begin this game. Had a no-hitter through 5 innings. 2-1 pitch is there. The bunt, the throw in time for out number 1, but Ryan Davis advances up to second base. Now just 180 feet away from winning this game, still with 2 outs remaining for the Licking County Settlers.
Yeah, there's going to need to either be a strikeout or some sort of flyout situation where whoever catches in the outfield holds the runner in Ryan Davis at second base. Because, again, if you can advance him in a scoring position, keep the sac fly on, that'd be a huge, huge danger zone here for the Copperheads. So see if Gilkey can come up clutch, see what the infield's got.
Logan White delivers a pitch over to Nadolny, who's going to throw it over to Bam Thomas at first, holds Ryan Davis at second, and that's out number 2.
Exactly. We're just like that. Somebody who ever fields it, with Mason Nadolny being a guy who has 100% field percentage, he was able to field that one cleanly and able to get that back out to first base. But the main thing he did was hold Davis at second base, right in between the second and third base paths. Really great work. No wonder he's an all-star.
So now 2 outs, and the game rests on the shoulders of Ben Kaplan, who has a runner 180 feet away from winning this one. He will take strike number 1 from Matt Gilkey. Gilkey, the only pitcher in this game, number 2 for the Copperheads. 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. As we'll see the 0-1 in the dirt, and the count will be 1-1. The 1-1 count, 2 outs. And Kaplan awaits as Gilkey comes up, gets set, and delivers the 1-1. Shot out into the gap. Oh, and Ian Crump not able to make the catch, and the one goes by him, and Ben Kaplan will walk this one off for the Licking County Settlers. His 3rd RBI of the year. That one gets past Ian Crump out there in left field. And the Licking County Settlers walk this one off here at Big Red Field.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that, what happened against the Richmond Jazz. In that play, it was out to left field, and it got past the arms of Stallings. This time we see it get past the outstretched arms of Ian Crump. And again, valiant effort by the Copperheads. They fought their butts off today against the Settlers. Settlers, they're at the top of the GLSEL, Copperheads at the bottom, and yet each of these games were oh so close. The 5-2 game, they ended up getting 2 runs up in the 6th inning, which ended up creating some separation, but the Copperheads fought really hard. And then this game as well, Copperheads were right there in it. And when we look back at this and we look back at the scorecard, that top of the 2nd inning where the Copperheads had 3 runners on, nobody out, and could not score, that's the thing that came back to bite him in the end. I was saying that the Copperheads were going to try to be a snake in the grass to the Settlers. Well, their snake in the grass for Copperheads was leaving people on base, and it came back to bite him. Great effort by Gilkey. Pitched very well. 7 innings, only giving up 2 runs. I mean, that's a winnable performance right there. So to not take advantage of that, it's just a tough out. It's been that type of season right now for the Copperheads. As
any given day, going 6 2/3 with 4 hits and 2 runs, 5 strikeouts and a walk is a very manageable win. That's any pitching coach in the country will tell you that's a really good stat line, and unfortunately just not able to get the win in this one. And so we'll move on to what's going to be a very familiar opponent the remainder of the season. We'll kind of take a look at the remaining games for the Copperheads. We'll get the Settlers again on Wednesday, and then the makeup game with the Cincinnati Steam on Thursday the 14th. After that, we'll get a bit of a weekend break, a couple days, and then take on the Settlers Saturday before we go to Sandusky. We'll play 2 games up there, hear a couple of different voices on that trip, and then come back here on the 21st against the Settlers. 2 more games against the Ice Haulers, and we'll end things off against the Settlers at home on July 24th. So another tough break for the Copperheads, who have fallen again. We'll now sit at 11-17 and
11-18 now.
11-18.
Yeah. That's one where, again, the Settlers now are up to 18-12. Copperheads 11-18. I think playoffs are starting to really slip away here, as we're going to have to start doing the math to see when elimination games might come into play here, as we're we're nearing mathematical elimination. And best thing here, just have fun, have some great games throughout the season. We have some really great nights coming up at Bob Wren Stadium. And these guys still have a lot to prove. And, well, of course, have the All-Star game coming up tomorrow, which is going to be absolutely exciting.
With the loss to the Grand Lake Mariners, the Hamilton Joes fall down to second place. And with 2 wins here, the Licking County Settlers will jump up into first place in the GLSCL South. They will have a 6.5 game lead over the Southern Ohio Copperheads, who sit in last place, about a game and a half behind the Richmond Jazz, who sit at 13 and 17. So we'll take a quick break. We'll hear from Coach Lanning and possibly a couple other people in this one. Final score in this one, 2-1, as the Licking County Settlers victorious in game number 2 of this 2-game doubleheader. You're listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube. Back here inside the broadcast booth, game number 2 of the doubleheader ends in pretty exciting fashion if you're a fan of the Licking County Settlers. But unfortunately, the Copperheads fell in this one. A really well-hit ball to end the game, as it was Ben Kaplan that got the RBI single to end the game, scoring Nick Lukic, or rather Ryan Davis. Sorry, a little bit confused still. Don't have the scorebook right in front of me. But looking ahead now for the Copperheads, the Licking County Settlers officially take the series, have beaten the Copperheads 5 straight times to start the series. We'll see them a couple more times and potentially play spoiler to them as it gets down into the race. They're currently sitting a game ahead of the Hamilton Joes in first place in the GLSCL South.
Yeah, it should be an interesting series the rest of the way. I think it's one of those gut check series where we saw us against the Steam where we lost the first 3 and then we're able to win the 4th one to kind of even things out a little bit more. This is a series now where they've taken 5 on us, but 5 out of 9 is pretty similar to 3 out of 5, and we've seen the Copperheads respond. So we're hoping to see just the players have fun. I want to see the guys just have a great time as well throughout the rest of the season. That's what Coach really emphasized to us in the last couple of games here when Copperheads have suffered a couple of losses. But after 4 straight wins, we now see 4 straight losses, which is pretty tough for the Copperheads, of course. But, again, there's still plenty of season left. There's still a lot to play for and still a lot to go. There's not anything about draft order. It's not like the major leagues or any other leagues where tanking can benefit you. It's all about just going, continuing to fight hard, continuing to get better, and just waking up and playing baseball every single day and just enjoying the rest of the summer. I mean, we're on Game 30 the next game. Game 30 against the Settlers will be coming up on Wednesday. So,
not a lot of
got to
time
enjoy it
left.
while it lasts.
Exactly, not a lot of time left. And I know these guys are enjoying their time down in Athens. Who wouldn't love coming on vacation to Athens, Ohio for a couple of months? But yeah, tough break for the Copperheads. We'll see them again. For those that missed it just a second ago, we will see them at home on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday at Bob Wren, and then a 2-game road trip up to Sandusky to face the Ice Haulers for one more road trip next week, and then finish it off with 3 straight home games. So if you are able, please come out to the ballpark and enjoy a Copperheads Crunch Dog from Larry's Doghouse, or a Homer's Hazy IPA from Jackie O's, or just the general ballpark environment. But thank you again for watching today, and have a great night listening to Southern Ohio Copperhead Baseball on YouTube.